if you are watching this video, I would argue that you are watching something evolving in this market. You're watching assets popping. I'm talking about large cap assets starting to take big moves. Those are not the smaller moves which you're talking about. They're already up 40% for the week, 20% for the day. Something is starting. The mundane era is done. But for those who are prepared, now they are watching their portfolio ballooning, right? Say, if you look at SIA coin here, watch what the price is. Yeah, it's up 73% for the month and 18% for the day. But if you saw that asset a couple of months back, you already knew this was coming in. We followed it up. We gave you the idea, short term, this is your target. Medium term, this is your target. And a lot of people just went in on that and they made a great deal. So if you look at these things, the price gives you what it is about to do. It's your duty to get in and take that. Say, if you're looking at AVAX, it is a great asset. It has done 140% for the month already. Up 20% for the day. What's happening in the market? Think about that. It showed you a clear pattern, a clear structure showing I'm about to do a 128% move to the upside. Now, it was not precise. I agree. It went a little bit above that, but your targets are met. That's all it matters. You made 100% plus on that single trade. The market is giving you one idea. Money is starting to enter large cap assets. That's exactly where I asked the question, do you think XRP is about to blast off? Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. I would argue that a lot of you are actually smashing that like button. I'm really thankful for each and every one of you who's actually bombarding that like button. Now, let's dive into XRP. Let's actually look at what the hell price action is showing you, because at this point, I would actually argue one thing. We talked about this from the break lower here. That's a couple of months back. We argued that this break to the downside here is something similar like this, going back to 2020 December. If you watch what the price action have done after that, RSI dropped below that, came back above that, couldn't stand there, dropped below that and broke back above that. That trend line held. Wow, that's huge. Now, watch what happened here this time around. You did almost exactly same. So why should the results be different? If the equation you're putting in and the numbers you're putting in is the same, I would argue that the results should all at least almost be same. But it is going to be somewhat similar. You're going to watch monumental rise because this time you have more volume, you have more exchanges, you have more hype, marketing, everything is on your side. 1, 2. The big blast off comes during this time. At this point, I told you, okay, there is some reversal signal coming in. You already have a divergence. Watch for this, guys. Yes, it's playing out. We've been talking about this, right? We've been actually going through a lot of this so that you guys understand it. We actually went through the, say, Cardano before it actually blasted off, say, earlier. Couple of weeks back, say late November, I was saying this. Wyckoff is showing Cardano is about to blast off. That's the phase E where the FOMO starts. And we are watching the exact same thing happening in the market. If we go through all of this, one thing is clear. The market is showing you signs, signals, which you can use. This is the altcoin market, excluding Ether. We are watching this one precisely because we want to see this breaking higher. As soon as it does, that means the markup phase is there. XRP, Cardano, all the other large cap assets are going to do well. Now, one of the primary things you need to look at is it like all the highly correlated assets are getting good volume? So you're looking at the XLM, the XRP, the HBAR, the payment stream. And you see, yeah, they kind of make this pattern and broke to the upside. So this is XLM on a macro, and it shows you that it had a inverse head and shoulder which broke to the upside. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So that means price have some room to the upside. Now we come on XRP. You're like, okay, that's the weekly picture. You broke above the moving average. You retested the moving average. You're trying to bounce off. What should be the micro move? The short term move. You're like, okay, above $1, it's decent. It's decent. What should be the level for this particular correction? That's like about $2, 2.2, 2.3. Okay, fine. That's great. What's it for this move? If you have patience to ride all this, now you're talking about big numbers. You're not talking about 100% move, 200% move. You're talking about a 10x, 15x, 20x big moves coming in the market. And if you don't believe that, what you have to understand is you can always go back to the market, talk to the market, ask, did any other asset do this? And you're like, yeah, even in the large cap, you're watching them. As you go through the smaller cap, you're going to see a lot of other assets which have done that before. Why shouldn't this asset do it at this moment? It will be just a starting point. Agreed. You're not going to watch this asset going towards $1,000. I saw something like this and I was like, okay, that's really interesting if you are realistic, right? Agreed. This is really useful for everyone. Shout out to Minus Wells. Because I would actually argue that if you have, say, a target, which is not 10,000, which is not 50,000, that kind of a bullish, hypish, that kind of thing, then logically, this is the basic, easiest stuff. Great. So if you're saying like, okay, my target is $10, that's it. You're looking for what? $1 million. Which is kind of, great. If you are literally pointing towards saying, okay, I want to reach 10 million, then that's your target. But if you're like, okay, I'm looking at $1 million, fine, just $1 is enough, but you have to have 1 million units of XRP. So how realistic are you? This is the biggest question I would actually ask. If you have just one asset, which is XRP, and you're saying this is going to change your life, great. But the question is, how many XRP do you have? If you are holding a small lot of this asset and arguing that the price is going to reach $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, maybe it can, but at what point of time? That's a big question. You need to be realistic at some point. Now, if we come back to what we are looking at, the Bitcoin dominance is slowing down, money is moving into the altcoins. It is super interesting. You just saw Ether breaking higher, Ether doing what it can do and what we have seen in the past. This is one of the primary reasons why I always go back to macro charts and show you, yes, short term, that's the scenario. Long term, this is what the market is doing. So for XRP, you haven't even reached that range. You're just going into one. When you usually do those kind of move on the market, you see big pops coming in the price action. That is coming. Whether we believe it or not, it is coming. You go into multiple assets in the payments industry and you're like, whoa, I should not miss this. XLM right now is reaching a territory which is overbought on a daily, which interests me so that I can go look at that particular asset on a 3-day, on a weekly, what we usually do. And here it goes. On a daily, it's like, yeah, I'm entering the overbought territory. That's cool. That's great. You go look at that exact same asset on a 3-day, and it kind of puts the argument, yeah, you see this? I'm really interested in this pattern. A breakout here is going to push the price up. Great. But you haven't actually reached that overbought zone yet. So when you're starting something like this move, which is going to go higher, you will watch this happening. Now, we're still waiting for that, but we are getting so close to that. This month, the next month, say maybe next 3 months, is going to be that zone where you would actually ask yourself, why the hell did I rest a lot on crypto when it was still low? When the price was still here at the bottom in this range, ask this question, did it play in that zone for a day or a week? No, it played out for 200 days. So if you wanted to average down, it was huge time. You could have done that every week, maybe $10, maybe $100, depending upon your purchasing power, your earning potential. Great. But now, is it too late? I wouldn't say that. Yes, for sure. You missed this territory. But you're here. You haven't missed this territory. So regret, the pain of regret, is going to be too big. For those of us who have accumulated here, the pain of patience has been frustrating, irritating. But now, watching things happening like this, we are getting really, really, really excited. See, if you actually go look at some of the meme coins, you can put this argument there. If money is coming into the meme coin like this, how crazy should the market be looking like from the outside of crypto? Look at this. The daily is already overbought. 3 days, like, yep, I'm in there. Weekly shows you, yeah, this is it. I'm starting. So I'm like, okay, let me go back to each and every time where the price action did something like this. I want to actually see what happened during that time. What was the ROI? The lowest I'm watching is somewhat like this, which was a 300% move to the upside. That was going through a consolidation. Now, when did that happen? Where did that happen? That's important to understand. That happened inside your accumulation zone. You did not break the accumulation zone to the upside. This was that moment where you did. So if you are that guy looking at this particular asset, you're like, okay, we may move within this range for a long time, but unless this happens, yeah, the big moves are not coming. But you may still see this. You may not come back down to this range. That is still a huge possibility in the market. Now, where the hell are we in this meme coin category? I would argue this is where we are. We are trying to break something. And we have just reached here. We haven't topped off. We didn't get a divergence. We are not doing any shit like that. We are just entering here. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Money is moving into the altcoins. Even meme coins are starting to get a lot of volume, a lot of money. Hypers, retail traders who are like, okay, let me take a chance here. Let me try what this can offer. That kind of mentality of risk taking is back. Risk seekers are back in the market. That's why you actually see these kind of assets trying to complete this. What do I mean? The double bottom, and you're about to break that pattern to the upside. If you do, now we are watching this coming back up to this point. So visualize what the market is showing you and wait. This is just like fishing. You go in the fishing, you put in that bait there, and you wait until it's bitten by the fish. That's happening here. The RSI is like, for me, it's a leading indicator and it shows me, whoa, I'm breaking higher. So usually the retest here should bring you an opportunity to buy into this asset if you are looking for that. Now, yes, it's your personal choice. It's your decision, but I would argue 800 plus members, 811 members to be precise, are taking the advantage of my charts in the SI family. We are going through a Ask for TA session where you can drop the assets which you want to see. I go through that, give you my details of what I think with the charts like this. And then we go on the one-on-one session, going through your portfolio, your thoughts, your targets, and then saying whether it's realistic or it's conservative, super conservative. We have some who are like, super optimistic, 100x, 1000x. We have some who are like 5x, 10x, where they could have easily targeted 20x. So that's where you balance. That's where you need to know who you are as an investor and what you're looking for. Is that realistic? How can you rebalance that? This is what we try to work on. I give you all my thoughts, all my opinions so that you can work on it with the best well-educated decision in the market, just like all of this. So if you are interested in joining the 810 plus members, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, in YouTube, and in bio on Twitter. So guys, if you haven't smashed that like button yet, I would request you, please think about that for a moment. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now.